Hello and welcome to the Today is Your Day show. I'm your host, Jonathan Davis, and I'm so excited that you decided to join us for our segment, Someone and Things That You Need to Know. We have a wonderful guest that I'm going to bring on in just a moment, but I want to stress to you that this is your chance, this is your platform that you can use to promote whatever you have going on. Again, I tell you all the time, you have a book, you have a business, you have an event coming up, or you just want the world to know who you are. This is the platform to do just that on the Today is Your Day show segment, Someone and Things You Need to Know. So if you're seeing this for the first time, know that you can be the guest on this show. Don't miss out on this opportunity. I'm telling you right now, I'm helping you get to the nations and the world. And this platform is the way you do just that. So don't miss the opportunity. You can reach me at davisconsultantsgroup.com. Again, that's davisconsultantsgroup.com. That's consultants with an S. I'll have it on the screen in just a few moments. But make sure that you reach out to me and say, hey, I want to be a participant or a guest on the Today is Your Day show. This opportunity you've been waiting on. You want the world to know who you are and what you have going on. This is the chance to do just that. So again, don't miss out. Well, I want to welcome my amazing guest to the show, Caryn Lacy. We welcome you to the Today is Your Day show. Thank you for being on here today.
Hey, Jonathan. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to just sit and chat with you about all that's going on. So I'm glad to be here. I really am. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. I'm honored that you said yes and said, hey, I want to be on the show. I said, come on, because I want the world to know who you are and all that you have going on. So I have my list of all the amazing things. right. All the amazing things that you have going on. All right. So let's start with your travel agency, because you have a travel agency, and I know it's summer and people need to get some great, I won't say discounts, but some good plans or some good prices to get their travel on before the summer's out, or to plan for the fall or winter. Tell us about your travel agency.
Well, you know how God just gives you things to do, and it's easy to blame it on God, but when you're listening and He tells you things to do, and it's like, really, God, you adding something else. I was preparing to go to Paris for my birthday, and I needed to find. Yes, it is. Yes, look, I'm the big 6'0". I'm so excited about being 60 because God has just been so good. And when He said your latter will be greater than your former, I am here for it. And He is showing Himself mightily that my latter, my 60, I was like, you're 60. And, it's amazing when God just does what He does once again, but He keeps His promises. And He promised that my latter will be greater than my former. I am living my best life at 60. So back to this Paris trip, one of my girlfriends said, hey, we need to find something to do for your 60th birthday. And I just kind of shoved it to the side, and God brought it back up. And I was like, God, your will, your bill. So if you want me to go, make the way. And I needed to find a travel agent. And God just gave me, look, you be your own travel agent. Mm-hmm. and get the commission off of your trip, which was amazing to me. So I sought out, found a young lady. I had spoke with a dear friend of mine, Pastor Sonia Taylor, and she referred me to someone. And this young lady was so dynamic. She walked me through it and showed me how I could become a travel agent. And here I am, a travel agent. I booked my own trip to Paris. How about that?
Look at that.
I get commission off the trip and super excited about going, but also that it opened up another door and a window of opportunity for me to help others. So I am now a travel agent. It's Caryn Ray Lacy, travel agency at teletravel.com. And you can find me on Facebook at Caryn Ray Lacy Facebook. my Facebook page. But the travel agency is something that was birthed just out of the necessity of me wanting to go somewhere, and then God added to it. How many of you know the blessing of the Lord is making rich and adds no sorrow to it? And so
Right.
he is so faithful. One thing that I can say that I honestly do is say yes. It might take me a little bit, but I do say yes. I do say yes to God, and it usually works out in my favor. So that's the travel agency piece of my life.
So tell me this. So let me ask you this. If someone's watching this and they want to also sign up to not only be to book a trip, but they want to do what you do under you, can they do that? How does that?
Yes, definitely you can. Just reach out and contact me on Facebook. And if you are interested in becoming a travel agent, if you're booking and traveling your trips through someone else, why not get paid commission on your own trips? And definitely I would be willing to help you to get there, and even just excited to have you be a part of my team. I didn't even know I was building a team. How about that? So God is just so faithful. But yeah, definitely, if you're interested in traveling, and or if traveling is your thing, that's one thing that I said. You know, my children are grown, and now I just said we make memories. That's what we do. And so we book trips for Christmas. We book trips, you know, around different holidays, just to make those memories with my family, because they're grown and there's really no need for me to be putting up a Christmas tree. So, but yeah, if traveling is your thing, you're excited about traveling, want to live your best life in traveling and get paid, please give me a call. Yeah, definitely.
I love it. I love it. Listen, even if I travel, I want the Christmas tree up. I'm just saying, I love Christmas. That's my favorite holiday of the year. And I want that tree up. I'm decorating. I'm having the Christmas music while I'm decorating it.
No, Jonathan, no.
I'm all over the place. I love it. I love it.
You know, I am not the Grinch, but I am the one that's going out the door. Let's say, where can we go? What can we do? That's
I
me.
get it. I will. I will decorate my whole house and then travel to my parents' house for in Miami for Christmas. But I just have to. The whole month, I need to see Christmas all around the house. All around the house.
Okay.
Whole floor.
Look, I am not gonna bother you. I am not gonna bother you about
That's
this.
okay.
You know, I have a cousin. She loves the fall, and I told her, I said, I'm gonna come push your stuff over on your porch at fall. So, Jonathan, I'm not gonna come push your Christmas tree up.
Thank you. I don't know if I have insurance to pay for it, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay. All right. So next thing on the list, you have this amazing show that comes on every Thursday called Remove Logic. And the radio show, and I want to hear all about it. Tell us about Remove Logic radio show.
Remove Logic radio show. It's honestly, it's like my new baby. I am enjoying it. And when I tell you, God, I fought him almost tooth and nail to not do this. Because I love my anonymity. You know, I can work for God over in the corner and be okay. I do not want to be out in the forefront. And look, got the title of a pastor and don't want to be in the forefront. What is all that about? You know, but when he wants to put you in a new arena, I can stand in the pulpit, that's fine. But when you start to talk to me about going out into a new arena, and I actually had anxiety about this. And it took me a while. I mean, a while. But God is faithful to put the right people in your path to encourage you. While they're laughing at me at the same time. And so Remove Logic, it was birthed out of just something that I would say to myself when I would overthink things. You know, you got to remove logic. You know, God is not bound by logic or logistics. So when he wants something done, everything that can be shaken will be shaken for you to get that thing done. And even if it's moving you from one city or one state to another, there's no logic in what God does. The only logic is obedience. So Remove Logic radio show is for people that are stuck, to help them to get unstuck. It's a platform for people that are doing, ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things, people that may have started with an ugly story that God made beautiful. And if it's a business, if it's your personal story, something that God has given you to do, it may not be business. It just may be your testimony, something that you overcome and come through where logically there was no reason for you to even come through except God. So that's what Remove Logic is. And it really has become, like I said, my baby. I love it. The people that I meet, there are people that share their stories with me that are just so amazing when God has his hand on their life. And when they acquiesce or just say yes or, fight through whatever they have to fight through to get to that thing that God has for them. That's what Remove Logic is. It's an internet radio show. I'm part of the Fishbowl Radio Network, and it airs on Thursdays. We have a Remove Logic Facebook page, and on that page are the shows, and you'll find me there posting daily some content, but the shows are there as well. And then once it airs on the Fishbowl Radio Network, then she also puts it out on Spotify. So you can find the reruns or anything that you miss. You'll find Remove Logic on Spotify as well. But it is a wonderful show, And so if you're looking for a place to give your story, tell your testimony, talk about your business, authors of books, whatever, it is a platform that I use the way God tells me to use it. I really don't like to promote myself there because it's God's. It is, and it is for his people. So that's Remove Logic Radio Show. I really, honestly, God spoke to me about how he's moving people in different arenas. And, where I was saying to myself, hey, I don't want to do this. I'm okay with going and sitting in the church and getting a word or giving a word. But God it's concerning how comfortable we become sitting in those places. So it's the comfort, the convenience, and the celebrity that church has become. And so God is just moving us, and he's moving people that you don't know. And he's putting them out on platforms and new arenas. And so I'm excited to be a part of this move of God in this season that we're in, where people are being shifted around and moved and put in arenas that we don't want to be in. So that's the caveat of what the conduit for what Remove Logic is doing.
Can you think of, and you've interviewed many people, can you think of a story or a testimony that kind of sticks out to you that you've shared on the show?
Yes. For the month of June, God said to just interview men. And when I tell you the men came through, there were so many wonderful testimonies of men, and they were very transparent. Oftentimes men don't get to tell their stories. And it was also men's, and then fathers. It was for Father's Day that I did this. And so there was one person that he actually is the director on my job. And I was standing in his office back in April when I launched the show, which I just launched it this year. Wow. And I said, hey, you mind if I interview you? I said, you have a story. And I don't know him any more than, I know a can of paint, other than he is my director. So personal things I really don't know about him. And I said, you have a story. And he said, I do. And he was very matter of fact. And I thought he would say, he didn't want to do it. And one thing that when he said yes, when I tell you I was blown away by his story, he was raised by his grandmother. His mother was on drugs, and father was never a part of his life. And so to share that during the month of Father's Day, and one of the things that I found in him, he has such a wonderful temperament. and a very calm, very understanding, empathetic man. And I said, man, it's got to be an awesome man. And just logically, removing logic, I logically thought there had to be a wonderful man, a father in your life. But to hear his story, that he was raised by his grandmother, and mother was on drugs, and that the father was never in his life. And he said something that was so profound, that he never, ever in his life called a man father, or
Wow.
even said daddy. And so my question to him was, how does it feel now that you have a son to hear someone call you daddy? And when I tell you, he broke just in that moment in sharing his testimony. And so sometimes we think we're going through life and we're living our lives as best as we can.
Mm-hmm.
But when you open up and share your story, the impact that made during that month, I got so many replays on that interview, that it helped grandmothers who were raising their grandsons because mothers were not in their lives. I got responses from men on the transparency that he gave. He talked about how he had gone through counseling. And, it's hard for our Black men sometimes to go to counseling, or just to admit that we need counseling. So, it was just a powerful moment of him sharing. And I was so grateful that he said yes. And I got so many responses. I had one person to tell me, I need his autograph. I want me a good country man like Mr. Taylor. So yeah, he had the women just, like, wow. And I mean, just a wonderful spirit, but just a hero in life. You live your life and you go through things, and don't really think that your life matters until you tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I really like about Remove Logic. It's been so many stories, Jonathan, so many.
I'm sure. If you could share with someone that they know that it's something that they're supposed to do, and they're in this wavering state of just like, I don't feel like doing this, knowing that, as you said, God told you to do it and he pushed you to do it, what would you tell someone?
The first thing would be to do it afraid. Just do it afraid. And that was the one thing that I said once I launched Remove Logic, my very first show. I was so afraid. I did take some courses in behind the mic from the owner of the radio station to help me out to master this. But and I'm still learning. I'm not saying I have it mastered, but I would encourage you to just do it afraid. If you know that you heard it from the creator of the universe, come on now. He knows the plans that he has for you.
Come on.
And I would just take that as my springboard, that God said it. Not that anybody else told you to do it, but you heard it from God. And if it's something that's stirring in your spirit that, maybe you've been sitting on for years, I would just say, formulate it in your mind that I'm going to say yes to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead and do it. Just get up and do it afraid. Do it afraid. Don't wait for the timing to be right. Don't wait for the money to be right. God will bless your movement. He blesses your movement. So I just would encourage someone to just take a chance on you and believe God.
That's good. That's real good.
Yeah.
So again, if someone wants to be a guest on your show, how do they go about doing that?
You can contact me on my Facebook page at Remove Logic. It's REMOVE, and then the capitalized Logic, Remove Logic. And you can meet me there in Messenger, or you can reach out to me. Have email, and it's bossladiezbiz at gmail.com. And then Boss Ladies is LADIEZBIZ.com. At gmail.com. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're good. And if you didn't get any of that or any of those, to reach out to her, I'm going to have all these things on the post in the description of this show. So if you did miss it on how to reach out to her, you will see it on the post. So don't worry. I just want to make sure you got to say it.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So tell us about the ministry of Caryn Lacy.
Well, once again, one of those moments. I grew up Baptist. So my grandfather was a Baptist pastor, but he passed when I was a little girl.
Mhm.
And so my roots are Baptist. Now, moving forward, when God called me, there was no identifier of a woman preacher in my life and not even in my family. So not only did it take me by storm, but it took my family by storm as well. And so when he called and I said yes, I was in a church that was not non-denominational, but it still had Baptist roots. And there were 18 sons in the house. And here I come as this daughter. And when I tell you, going forward and talking to my pastor, letting him know that I was called, it messed him up, so to speak, and kind of
Really?
messed up the church as well. So, but, but I say, when God calls you, yes is really what's relevant for you, just to say yes. We don't know where it's going to take us. So this ministry that God gave me at that time, it was Crowns of Glory ministry. It was an outreach ministry. And I did a lot of outreach. I did for homeless ministry, children. At
Mhm.
Christmas time, I did coats for kids, just outreach, and loved connecting with the community. And from there, it became a church, and so it was. I had a small setting at Texas Wesleyan College over in Fort Worth, Texas, and I
Mhm.
would have my services on Saturday nights, and I was doing something different. I was always on the edge of on the perimeter and doing things different. And the
Uh-huh.
ministry, Crowns of Glory, it wasn't just to women, because I truly believe, God has said my ministry was for the whole family, but you cannot lift up a woman and the man stays down. That does not help the family. So my ministry is not just to women; it is for men and for children. It's the wholeness of the family. So that is who I am. And I'm now at Reset Church under Apostle Ray Williams. And for a long time, being out, I'm going to say out of church. I was at a church in South Lake as well. But I've always been this perimeter pastor, because I don't like a lot of foolishness, Jonathan. So, and but to connect with Apostle Ray at Reset Church, I was like, wow, okay. It was nice to find people that not think like you think, but think beyond where you're thinking. And
Mhm.
so I'm a pastor at that church, and I'm now in Pflugerville because God moved me to Pflugerville. I know this story seems to be all over the
You're good. You're good.
place, but I was in Fort Worth, and God, told me to sell my house and move to Austin. And so I settled in Pflugerville outside of the Austin area, and it has just been such a blessing here. So many stories or testimonies of how God has provided for me in the sacrifice of selling my home. And even the church is there in the Dallas area, so I go up there to go to church. So um, again, logistically and logically, things just don't make sense. But I can tell you, I'm living my best life. But the ministry that I have, it's more outreach. It really is. And I just love helping and seeing people meet the potential that God has placed in their lives. Go after it, get up and do it. So that's me. I'm a pusher.
So if again, we're going back. If they want you to come to the church, if they want to be a part of your ministry, how do they go about doing that?
You can reach me again on Facebook. It's Caryn with a C, Caryn Ray Lacy on Facebook, and just message me for whatever it is. If it's just, sometimes this ministry of chatting. If it's you want me to be a part of women's ministry, to come and preach and teach, I don't mind doing that. But whatever it is, I just say I have availed myself to God. And I'm not saying that to sound super spiritual. It's just how I live, honestly. So, yeah, you can reach me on Facebook.
So talk to me about a person that is watching that believes that they're called, believes that they're supposed to work in ministry, but guess what? I'm a woman. What do you
Wow.
tell that person?
Oh my gosh, that I first would say, again, I'm going to go back to say, if God called you, he called you.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest things that I had to learn being a woman called in ministry is you don't have to fight for yourself, that God fights for you. And the loudest voice that God could have ever spoken to me is that I don't need you to prove me. I will prove myself through you. So I would say to a woman, say yes and allow God to prove himself through you. We do get pushback, but I know that God always placed me in the right place. But I was never afraid to go forward. I say that the P is for pastor. It is not for punk. I'm not a punk, and I'm not afraid. God said, "Don't be afraid of men in their faces," and so we have to, as women, go forward. I can only imagine, and I don't know that if it's okay with you, but I can only imagine what Kamala Harris is feeling like right now.
Mhm.
If you don't go forward, God positions us in places before we know where you're going in the purpose of that thing.
Mhm.
And so how, yes, I've accepted you as a vice president, but now you're stepping back and I need to run for president. So I would say to a woman, you don't know what God has for you on the other side of this yes, but say yes, because it may be you just getting in position, but for such a time as this, just as she is, or just as Esther was. You don't know if God is going to use you, look, greater later, but you still have to go forth even now. So
Mhm.
I would just encourage you to do it. And if you need somebody to talk to, I'm your girl. I am your girl. Because it's been lonely, but it's also been very transformative. I've learned how to balance out the isolation, but I've also learned how to balance out, look, going forward in the new communities that God gives you when he says, get up and go. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would encourage her to go for it. Don't waste your time and waste your life fighting with what others may think or say, or even your fear. Get up and go.
That's good. That's good. And even to even veer not off that, but to even push even more, you're sharing. I'm asking for you to share on where you believe we are in this season.
Yes, I truly believe, again, that the Great Commission it's been thwarted. And I heard it. It's been thwarted by convenience. It's been thwarted by us being comfortable, and then celebrity. And so, what do those things look like? The convenience of going to a church, and sitting on that same pew and the comfort of that. And just knowing that, hey, it's there. But when we came through the pandemic and we couldn't go to church, or even question if I should go
Mhm.
to church, we have to ask ourselves as believers, what is God saying? What is it that he's doing? Because there was a true shaking that took place during that time. There was a disruption of our norms. And so then we come out of it, and thank God that we did. But then we go back to the same thing, the same mindset, the same way of doing things. And I'm just going to go back and I'm going to be comfortable. This is a comfortable word. This is an easy word. And we may have been sitting there for 5-10 years, or, hey, maybe just driven in for that first year after the pandemic. But it's still comfort. And
Mhm.
then there's that celebrity voice that's there, that's speaking to us, that the ears have become comfortable with. And
Mhm.
but God is shaking all of that up, where those voices are coming down. It's not to give any type of judgment to anybody on anything except that God's will be done in the earth. And so now as we see this shaking that's coming, and then you see, those that are put out into arenas like, the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And, people are hearing things and we're reaching people. That this is the Great Commission, because the walls have contained some of those that God is saying, but I need you to go forth. I need you to come out. I need your voice to be my voice for this set of people in this nation, in this group, in this season. And so if the internet is the new arena,
right,
we've got to be comfortable with this arena. We've got to become comfortable with it, because you've got AI, you have technology doing what technology is doing, but then at the same time we're fighting the move. Nothing comes except God says yes. So even in the evidence of technology being what it is, and things going where they go, if my voice needs to reach someone in a whole nother nation, in a whole nother state, in a whole nother city, even as I have sat back and I fought and I wanted my anonymity, but God is saying new arena.
right.
And so even those that, that we're interviewing, and it may be that person like my director that has come through his life, and then God is saying, now go to him and let him tell his story, because there's someone that needs to hear this story. Somebody will be helped. So if we're not giving the moment and the place for that to happen, then we're finding ourselves against the current of a move. So I just truly believe that God is just calling people out that are not our familiar names, and sending us out to places like, I know I talked to you about me moving from Fort Worth to Pflugerville. And it's just so like, what is that all about? But once I got here, and, I tripped the Life Fantastic for a little while, but then I heard God say it's time to connect. And so then I began to connect and look around and see, okay, God, what did you send me here for? What does this land offer me, and what am I to offer in this land? I need to connect here. So I just truly believe that God is just shaking the things that need to be shaken, and everything's shaken that can be shaken will be shaken, and then we will find those things that will remain. That's what I believe is happening, because we've been living in a disruption. And that was a word that God gave me last year. You're living in a disruption, and living, truly living, like living blessed, living resources, living good, but and taken care of, protected and provided. Though he disrupted and allowed a disruption to come, but he gave us to live in this disrupted place. But now that we've come through a disruption, we are now seeing, okay, God, what do you want? What is your will in this season? And so there are new voices that are ringing in this season, new people that are names that are coming up, because God is lifting up those that, hey, they've got that word, where the celebrity and what we've lifted as an idol to be the only word, God is bringing people with names that we've not heard with a new word.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly on all that you spoke on.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that. And if people aren't seeing that, they really need to open their eyes, because they're shifting and things are changing.
Yes.
That also causes us to shift and change.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We are not living in yesterday anymore.
No.
And people need to really get in their minds, we're never going back.
No.
Like things are like it used to be. They aren't, and they will never be. And so if you get that, you'll be able to move forward. You'll
be able to make it. And and he promised that he would not do anything until he reveals it through those prophets, and the one that he's given that word, that oracle to speak for us. He that had an ear, let him hear. Right. We need to know what God is saying. And so it moves us through the land. It does. And it navigates us. It gives us the wisdom, the strategy. How do you survive? How do you make it? And who do you connect to? Who do you withdraw from? You've got to have all of that. It's very important that we hear God, especially in this season. I'm like, man, time is just like doing this every day, you know.
Right.
It's amazing how fast a day goes by. And you look up and I'm like, man, even July, it's gone.
You're right.
It's gone.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So fast.
It's moving fast.
Yeah.
It's moving fast. And you're right. The things that we won't see those again. And you have to be okay with that. Be okay with being okay. Be okay that God has got you, that the way has been made. You got to be okay with it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, is there anything else you want the people to know, and tell them again how they can reach you?
Okay. No, I've really enjoyed my time just spending time with you, just hanging out. But yeah, you can reach me, Caryn Ray Lacy, on Facebook, or Remove Logic Radio. It's on Facebook, and it's REMOVE. Logic is capitalized, LOGIC, on Facebook. You can reach me via email at bossladiezbiz@gmail.com, bossladiezbiz@gmail.com. Yeah.
This is great. Again, if y'all are looking for a wonderful minister or ministry to be a part of, travel agency, a radio show that is amazing and is blessing the people, or just to get to know Caryn Ray Lacy, this is the person you need to find. This is the person you find. Reach out to her. She's told you several times. Caryn Ray Lacy on Facebook. She's giving emails, and I'll definitely be posting the ways to contact her. And so we definitely want to thank her for being a part of the Today is Your Day show segment, someone and things you need to know, because she is someone that you need to know, and things that she has going on you need in your life and need to be a part of. So again, we thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jonathan. I've enjoyed it tremendously. Such a blessing. Thank you so much.
Now, before I leave, I need you to, so when you hear the statement, today is your day, what comes to mind?
Oh my God. The word now comes to mind. And then also that you're at the forefront, like you're center stage. Today is your day. Now is the time. Yeah. That's what comes to mind.
That's awesome. Did y'all hear that? Forefront and now. So don't wait.
Yes, you're center stage. You are center stage, and the time is now.
That is true. You just told us about that. You just said, hey, times are changing.
Yes.
Time's now. Yesterday is gone. Today is all we
but
got.
For such a time as this.
Yes.
But for such a time as this. Yes. Yes. Let your voice be heard. Let your presence be known. Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Again, that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're so welcome. Thank you. This was so good and so much fun. Thank you, Jonathan.
We'll definitely have to have you back. Definitely have to have you back.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Well, no, audience, it doesn't have to be your birthday for today to be your day.